Hi guys, welcome back to As We Speak. I'm sorry about my silence over the last couple of weeks, but I've had the kids home with me for 3 weeks now, and like you, I guess I've been trying to get to grips with the situation and really trying to juggle and get the headspace to really communicate with you effectively. Basically, we humans, we've lost total control of our lives. Society as we know it doesn't exist. Our behaviors have had to completely change. We have literally been brought to our knees in surrender to what is and to what will be. And we are learning a very, very, very hard lesson, which is we aren't invincible. And yes, we have zero control over our situation at the moment. But maybe that's what we need, to not have any control. You know, there's so many theories about the coronavirus, its origins, but one fact remains that while we humans have completely come to a halt, Mother Nature is healing. We're hearing about China's carbon emissions, drastically dropping, dolphins being viewed, in the maximum city of Mumbai, birds chirping in New York City, and we don't even realize by not flying how much of a difference we're making to the carbon footprint in the world. So yes, we're slowing down, but we're benefiting our planet immensely. As days go by, another word keeps jumping out at me: resilience. I used to try to talk a lot about that, this 21st century buzzword. How are we going to make our children resilient enough to cope with the 21st century? Honestly, right now, I think our children are passing with flying colors as opposed to us. My kids, and I'm sure your kids and all of our kids, have found a way to navigate this thing. Before the final sort of lockdown, they managed with what little they could do, where they could go, the little they could meet, who they could meet. And now, they've naturally just come to terms with it. They'll run around the house, they'll come up with activities, they'll make up stuff. They started doing projects that they couldn't or didn't. They started opening up their cupboards to find things to do. And they've basically managed to kick the blues and get on with it. We've had one whole week of e-learning. And while I lose my patience every day, my children are managing to navigate this thing with so much resilience compared to me or I'm sure any other parent out there. So if they can embark on this new way of learning, if they can move forward, and if they can find happiness from such little things, I'm sure we can continue with our learning. So instead of being victim to every single piece of fake or real WhatsApp message that comes through our social media and inboxes, maybe we can get up and actually do something productive. Which brings me to the power of positive social media. Yes, there's negativity, but have you seen your Instagram feeds lately? There is so much hope. There is so much giving. Everyone is giving of their best skill set. They're talking about what they can offer for free, museums, schools, the opera. It is amazing, the generosity, the connection that we are making with each other, even though we're isolated. And I think it's so hopeful. Guys, we're no longer speaking a language of hate and segregation anymore. We're actually all trying as one world to beat this thing. All of a sudden, borders and countries, they seem so passé to me. They don't even matter to Corona as she sweeps every single corner of the world. And hopefully, they won't matter to our children. Borders will become immaterial to them as they will realize and do differently and learn from the mistakes we have made as nations of the world. Look at a typical middle schooler's social media feed today. What was once filled with silly, mindless teasing, harassment, stupid comments is now replaced with positivity, with good cheer. All of a sudden, people have realized what they mean to each other. They're using social media to keep in touch. No one is taking anyone for granted anymore. We make sure our children speak to their grandparents on Botim every day now, because who knows when we're going to see each other again. I'm sure we'll see each other again very soon, but this has made us all realize that we've got to stay really connected to the ones we really love. And finally, maybe our children, for whom a pool shutting down is such a big deal, can actually relate to the life of a child in a refugee camp. A child who's had to flee his country and who probably doesn't even know what his new home or where his new home is going to be. So I think there's a lot we can really use and talk about with our kids right now. Guys, the coming 2 to 3 weeks are going to be the most challenging for us as one world, as the experts expect this virus to peak. With all that has been happening in the world, I cannot help but wonder, with all the harm we've done to each other, with all the hate, with all the injustice, with all the, with all the harm we've done to our planet, maybe this was a long time coming. We humans have displayed the worst of ourselves, over the last few decades. But now we have a chance to be the best of ourselves and actually beat this thing. There is a huge takeaway to all of this. This is not the first pandemic to have hit the planet, and it is certainly not going to be the last. The examples that we set for our future generation today is going to be critical for their post-corona future tomorrow. So let's manage our moods, our mindsets, our habits. Let's keep that social distance, and let's really make them proud. Stay home, stay sane, and try to stay as happy and healthy as you can. Once again, I'm sorry for my silence. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to try my very best to speak to you as much as I can, and also have relevant people speaking to you through the amazing technology that we currently have at hand. In the meantime, if there's something you really want me to address, something you need help with, anything that you feel might help take you through this period, please shout out to me in the comments below, on my Instagram feed, wherever it is that you feel necessary. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay home, stay safe, and see you soon. Bye.